Stop. Are you about to self-publish your first non-fiction book? Then you are probably making at least one of these three devastating mistakes that could destroy your book's success before it has had any chance to prove itself in the market. I have seen dozens of first time authors make these exact errors, and it breaks my heart because they are so easily avoidable once you know them. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal the three biggest mistakes that are sabotaging first time nonfiction authors right now. And more importantly, I'll show you exactly how to fix them using the most current industry insights. So stay with me because mistake number three is the one that over 90% of new authors completely overlook, and it is costing them thousands of potential readers. Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Maria Ian, and I have helped well over 50 first time authors successfully self publish their nonfiction work. With well over 1 million self published titles hitting the market and that number growing, the competition is fierce. But here's the thing, while everyone else is making these three critical mistakes, you are about to learn how to avoid them completely. If this is your first time here, I share cutting edge strategies to help authors just like yourself build their platform, write compelling books, and actually sell them. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because I drop new content every week that could make the difference between your book succeeding or getting lost in the digital noise, which happens often to my sincere regret. So you don't want to be one of those people. The first mistake is skipping professional editing. Now you're going to think, what the heck is this? Now I'm so excited. I finally got my book done and ready. There's still something else I have to do now, and it has to be professional. You bet. Mistake number one is the very common and very devastating skipping professional editing. And as I just said, I know what you are thinking. I am a good writer. I have written my book. I have studied writing. I probably have an advanced degree in English or literature or history or some humanities. And I've proofread my manuscript so many times I can't even see it any longer. Now, that precisely is one of the problems. And surely I can catch my own mistakes. But here is the brutal truth that even much more sophisticated and experienced writers than you make every day. When you edit your own work, your brain basically works in a way that tricks you into thinking that it is perfect. So you can't even blame yourself. You're just following the natural way in which your brain happens to work. But the problem gets much bigger still because today we have something called AI generated content. And that AI generated content is flooding the market. And readers are more discerning than ever. Believe me, I spend considerable amounts of my time looking at various websites, new publications, new authors, reviews, comments, and it is heartbreaking what I see. Readers spot AI generated content. And again, you may think, well, but my AI proficiency is so extraordinary, they are not going to. Well, you don't know that until you've tried. And once you've tried, it is already too late. Nothing screams amateur book more than a book that is written by AI, because in addition, it also shows that you don't even know how to use AI properly. So, with Amazon's algorithm are prioritizing books that have either 5-star ratings or many hits, many looks at the book page, Kindle Unlimited page readings. So, if you've got even just one single person on there leaving you a 1 or 2 star review saying, this person wrote their book with AI, you may not believe this because you are going to get many 5-star reviews certainly very soon, and you've got all your happy friends and family lined up who are going to look at your book and put hundreds and thousands of clicks on that Amazon page. But believe me when I say it, one single 1 or 2 star review of an individual who says this book is written by AI is going to damage your career for considerable time hereafter. And we're talking about potentially 1 year or more. So is it worthy? No, it's not worth your time to waste your aptitudes on figuring out how to write a book with AI. And again, if you are in that position and you're actually wasting and spending time trying to figure out and writing your book with AI, that means you don't even know how to use AI properly. Okay, now just very briefly, there's 3 types of editing: developmental editing, and that shapes your content and structure; copy editing, that catches grammar, style, and consistency issues; and finally, proofreading. This is your final safety net. Now, you've spent all this time making yourself crazy writing your book with AI, so you hear this now and you say, I cannot handle this additional stress. Well, there's an easy way out of that. You got to stop yourself immediately, trash whatever you wrote, because again, that means you highly likely, if you're going to get comments, people pointing out to you that you wrote a book with AI, that on top of it also means you don't know how to use AI properly. So you're at the beginning of your career. This is the right time to do it, not after 5 or 6 iterations where you've written 5 or 6 books with AI and are now heroically ready to put them all out into the market. Okay, so stop, can it, trash it, and invest into some professional editing. And be very careful, because some editors or individuals who advertise themselves as being editors also use AI. So you got to make sure that whoever you decide to work with, you have truly vetted that person, interviewed them, and you know exactly every single thing about their process and what they're doing. Now, mistake number 2 is creating amateur cover design. And this one is costing authors many sales, because individuals decide within 1 or 2 seconds if they will invest more time to look at a book by the look of the cover. The cover is your primary sales tool. If your cover does not sell, then your book can be Nobel Prize worthy. No one will obviously read it. So there are people called professional cover designers who will help you professionally for about $200 to $500. That's the amount you should expect to invest. Create a professional cover for you. Now, here's another catch. What if I give some basic instructions to a designer and tell him, professional designer, I vetted the person, Here is how I want my cover to look like, and then I get my cover back after a week or so, and I'm all happy and smiles, and I publish my book with a professionally designed cover. That is not necessarily the best way to do it either, because the person who works for you is only as good as the instructions and feelings and impressions that person gets from you. So unless you want to spend many, many hours with your cover designer on the phone or on Zoom explaining the whole package and feeling and sensations and everything that you want your reader to get from the book cover, again, you probably see that's not the best way to go about it, right? You have to know enough about professional cover design to be able to succinctly tell your chosen professional designer how you want the cover to look like. Just some general instructions and mood ideas and basic general concepts is not going to be sufficient. And you're realizing we are inputting many nuances, many delicacies in here. This is a thing of experience, right? You do have to get this right. Now, professional cover designs today, with many people looking for books on social media, they have to be readable and recognizable at thumbnail size, but they also must look good large. So when somebody sees your big book in a bookstore or on your website, they must be as attracted and convinced that they want to buy it, not just look at it, skim through it, put it back, say, hey, I'm coming back at a later time. I really like this, but not right now. Your cover's gotta be a sales statement. Okay? There are certain genre conventions. You gotta convey your book's main benefit. There are other details and nuances you just must know before you invest into a professional cover designer who certainly will give you a professional product that you will look at and say, wow, this is a professional product. But is it exactly what will sell your book? Most likely not. Okay, so now we're getting to mistake number 3, which is a very big one: neglecting platform building. You've written a brilliant book, you've designed the most professional, outstanding, miraculously accurate cover, and you've done your editing. But your book sells maybe 1 or 2, 3 copies on Amazon by people who are really out there looking for books, and then that's it. If nobody knows that your book and you as the author exists, people are highly unlikely, entirely unlikely for obvious reasons, to find and read your book, waiting that your book will gain momentum because it's so brilliant and eventually the market will catch on and it will create this flow of ideas that you are going to be leading as the expert. In some cases can work after a year or more, but you're realizing, as the very smart person that you are, that we're talking about something that's very speculative and just not of the kind of caliber that you as a professional really want to be using, right? So you've got to use social media intelligently. You got to build your community. You got to know who your community is. You got to know that your community consists of genuine human beings who actually exists and not just bots or frauds who hang around because they think at some point in the future they may be able to scam you and sell you some marketing services, as can happen highly regretfully quite often. You want real, actual human beings with qualities, with sentiments, with opinions, with thoughts that you should be familiar with to interact with you on your social media. You need to have a correctly and professionally designed authors page. And that again is entirely a beast of its own, because what you may think is a beautiful author page to the average reader looking for a book on some information may not be, right? You need an email list. You may also want to be on YouTube. You may want to be on Substack and have your own channel there and newsletters. Um, there are certainly specific places based on your industry and your niche where your readers tend to gather. So you gotta be proactively putting yourself out there as a person, as an author, and build your community, right? And there are several steps that go into this, and it's work. So, thinking I've done this brilliant intellectual work and brilliant cover, brilliant editing, brilliant everything, um, and my book will sell intellectually, that's valuable, and congratulations. And I mean this honestly and genuinely, but professionally, you may want to acquaint yourself with the steps and procedures that go into building your audience. And more importantly, or as importantly at least, knowing your audience's voice. So, there you have it, the three biggest mistakes that are sabotaging first time nonfiction authors. Remember, invest in professional editing. Vet interview your editors. Don't fall for the many AI tricks. And again, it is okay in principle to use AI intelligently, because let's face it, everyone does it. But it's highly likely that you, as a first time author, and I say highly likely, I should say 100% certain, that you, as a first time author, do not know how to use AI, and you can shoot yourself in the foot in some very ugly ways with that. And I mentioned only a few in this video. It can get even much uglier than that. Okay? And start building your author's platform today, because your book deserves to succeed. And now you have the basics of something of a roadmap of how to make that happen. So I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned for next week, where we're going to share some more fascinating content of what gets the self-publishing market ticking right now. Stay tuned.